Well, space and art collide in a unique exhibition featuring Arizona artist Simon Kregar Jr.
That's right. Simon is here with us today to talk about Beyond. Simon, so glad you're here today.
Oh, thank you. I'm delighted.
Well, I know we were talking a little bit on break about just what a unique concept this is, art and space kind of colliding into one. So I want to know kind of how did you get your start as an artist?
Oh, well, I have to say it's in the blood. My mom was a childhood actress who co-starred with Howard Keel in the original Showboat. Oh. My father is an award-winning watercolorist. So, yeah, I kind of just fell right into it, you know. And as far as the science aspect of it goes, you know, I grew up with the Apollo missions. These were my heroes. And I wrote a letter to NASA when I was a kid asking to send my brother and I to the moon. And if NASA's listening, you know, I still haven't received the response.
Yeah.
So
just in case, just in case.
Just in case.
You know, I've never actually heard of something that's called like space art. Mm-hmm. So kind of explain to somebody what it is, or, you know, tell us a little bit more about the genre, because I know we're going to talk about the International Association of Astronomical Arts. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did not know that existed before today, and I think it's so interesting.
Oh, thank you. Space art, I was trying to come up with a good definition on my way here. Basically, it's artists who depict the universe or our place in it, to try to define that. You know, it got its starts actually in the 1800s at the Hudson River Valley School, which is an art school that painted these magnificent scenes for people to see of nature. Chesley Bonestell, who was an artist that worked with Disney, actually, in the 1940s, took that and took it to the next level and imagined what it would look like on the moon or Mars. Or today, there's artists that kind of go broad spectrum. I do portraits, I do astronauts. There's some artists that work in yarn or glass work, just beautiful stuff. And it's really just an expression, again, of our relationship with the universe. Well,
and I know that space art is kind of like a new concept for me just in general, but when I think of space art, I think of planets and constellations and things like that. But as you said, and as we kind of touched on a little bit, you kind of focus on, you know, scientific figures and portraits and things like that. So maybe dive a little more into why that is.
Absolutely. You know, a couple of years ago, I noticed that science literacy in this country was plummeting. And I had a cross point in my life where I could go into education or I could follow my art. And I realized I could combine the two. I could educate through art. You know, Einstein, Richard Feynman, you know, Marie Curie. These are my heroes. And I don't think that they're given enough recognition in our society. So it helps to, you know, spark people's imaginations.
Well, and I know you're a co-chair for the IAAA, which again I didn't know of before today. But kind of tell me what kind of events, you know, this association does or they're a part of.
Absolutely. I'm the co-chair as well as Michelle Roche of the Tucson chapter. We do events at Biosphere 2, not only STEM events, but we have a permanent exhibition out there. We do events at the Lunar Planetary Laboratory. We have worked with OSIRIS-REx. The Pima Air and Space Museum, we're out there, you know, quite a bit, actually. Yeah. So we work a lot with children and try to spark their imagination, try to get them, you know, interested in both art and science.
Well, I think that's a brilliant way to do both. And I know before we run out of time, I definitely want to make sure we know where we can come see your work.
Absolutely. You know, right now I have an exhibition at the Main Public Library downtown with, I think I've got 24 pieces there, both the space art and portraits. In addition to that, we have a permanent exhibition at Biosphere 2. In July of this year, there's a convention here called Space Fest that I'm working very closely with that brings the Apollo astronauts and a lot of the old astronauts together and some of the most famous space artists in the world. That'll be up at Star Pass. So.
I think that's amazing. And are we able to see some of this online or purchase any of this
Absolutely,
online?
absolutely. I have a website, SimonKregar.com.
That's easy.
Yeah, absolutely. My name. Or IAAA. You can look up IAAA and learn about the other artists and their contributions.
Well, I'm going to remind everybody about the exhibition that's coming up right now. But Simon, thank you so much for stopping in.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now you can experience the unique exhibition featuring art by Simon Kregar at the Tucson Public Main Library until the 31st. Now for more details, visit, like we said, SimonKregar.com. Easy to remember.